Hi, my name is Mary. Today FM plays the best music in Lambasa. Today FM rocks.
My name is Thomas. I'm here in Nakasi and I like to listen to Today FM because it rocks.
My name is Milenia. Today FM rocks here in Singatoka.
My name is Alfriti and Today FM rocks here in Tavua.
My name is Mary Jane. I love listening to Today FM here in Ba. Today FM rocks.
My name is Ilaiti Ambal and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks here in Nausori.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, rogue kids pose a big problem. Delkusha landslide affects thousands. And woman takes up case to Chief Justice.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
The number of kids gone rogue and impossible to be handled by parents stood at a stunning 51 last year, which is of a major concern for the Social Welfare Department. These cases were referred to the Social Welfare Department's child services by their parents because the kids had become uncontrollable. Some cases included children being violent at home, refusing to go to school, while others were involved in bullying. Sanyani Mboila reports.
Children who have been referred to the social welfare because of behavioral problems have been categorized as beyond control children.
When we intervene, we try to talk to the child. We try to make him understand his position in the family. And also we like to talk about or share with the child, the laws that can implicate him.
The Assistant Director for Social Services says they also include the parents of these troubled kids in their counseling sessions.
We invite ourselves to go out to the community and just to speak to parents about issues concerning children and how we can work together to tackle these issues.
Police Chief of Operations ACP Maritino Ngiolevu says parents need to be stern in their decision making.
It is the responsibility of parents and guidance, to be more cautious and to be more circumspect, and also to be more careful, with their children.
3 of the children were between the ages of 6 and 9, 2 between 10 and 12, 20 from the teenage years between 13 and 15, and 26 of them were between 16 to 18. It's a state that sure sends shockwaves down a small nation as ours, but the work starts at home, and Child Services is ready to assist those parents who need this help. Sanyani Mboila, FBC News.
Thousands were this morning affected for school and work due to the landslide at Princess Road near Delkusha. With the road yet to be opened, FRA says road users must be mindful of delays, while the weather officers also warning of more rain to come. Catherine Krishna reports.
The Fiji Roads Authority says the road will only open once their geotechnical engineers deem the road safe for motorists.
We have cleared 2 slips at Delkusha. However, the area is still closed along the Princess Road, and it's remained closed for all the traffic until we clear the last slip, which is number 3. This is the area where the 2 vehicles were involved in the accident, the slip.
The closure of the road has meant that it took more time than usual for commuters who use this route, some even being stuck in queue for 2 hours. However, FRA says they are prioritizing people's safety, hence the road will open only when all assessments are done.
First, ensuring that the slip road area is completely clear from danger when the traffic goes on the particular road. We do not want to repeat the incident that happened during the slip.
With more rain forecast, FRA says people living in areas where landslides are likely to occur need to be cautious. The authority is urging everyone to refrain from trying to cross or drive through roads which have been closed. Catherine Krishna, FBC News.
With more rain forecast over the next 3 days, residents in flood-prone communities are being advised to move to higher and drier ground. Acting Director for the Fiji Met Services, Viliame Verevalu, says a flood warning remains in force with a trough of low pressure moving over the country. He says given the heavy downpours already experienced, the ground vulnerability is cause for concern. Meanwhile, police are urging Fijians to adhere to the weather advisories with their officers on standby to be deployed when the need arises. Parents and guardians are also urged to closely monitor their children's movements.
And elsewhere it will be cloudy periods and afternoon evening showers, and possibly there is a thunderstorm with heavy falls. So, yeah, localized heavy falls may lead to flash flooding of low-lying areas as the condition of the soil now is saturated.
A primary school teacher who was sentenced by the Raki Magistrates Court has requested for her case to be reviewed by the Chief Justice. Justice Anthony Gates attended to the High Court review case this afternoon. The matter involves the sentencing of Shena Lal, who claims she was instructed by a magistrate from Raki Court to enter a guilty plea for her offence. Rachel Nath has the details.
Shena Lal was charged with 1 count of assault causing actual bodily harm. She had smacked a Class 1 student, a 6-year-old, on May 18 last year, and as a result, the child had sustained injuries. A complaint was filed against her by the child's family, and she was charged and appeared in the magistrate's court in Raki. This is where she claims that the lenient magistrate told her to plead guilty so that the matter could be resolved and taken out of the courts. Defense counsel Tailei Keen also reconfirming Lal's stance that she did not want to plead guilty but was advised to do so by the court. Justice Gates has set a date for hearing to determine the state's position on the sentence delivered. A case review is typically where the High Court identifies matters before the magistrates' courts that could be corrected or given guidance. On average, 2 to 3 review cases are held by the High Courts per year. Last matter has been adjourned to February 14th for hearing. Rachel Nath, FBC News.
In light of the concerns raised by the Catholic Church of Fiji to have their own as head teachers and principals, the Fiji Muslim League has come out saying they have also tried this in the past and it did not prevail. Fiji Muslim League President Hafiz Khan says some of their schools are not headed by Muslim teachers as there are limitations on what they can acquire from the Ministry of Education. Ali Kimbia with the story.
The Fiji Muslim League has stated that there was continuous negotiations with the Ministry of Education on the same issue raised by the Catholic Church of Fiji.
We try to negotiate the best that we can. In the high schools, the top 3 positions of principal, vice principal and assistant principal. We always try and get to negotiate a principal of our own faith. If we are not, then we try and settle for at least the other 2 to be of our faith.
Khan says they have the same demand as the Catholic Church, but there are limitations.
Sometimes we have had to deal with non-Muslim heads, and we have managed okay. But we would of course prefer to have our own, but it's not always possible.
The Sanatan Dharam Fiji says there is some weight in the issue brought up by the Catholic Church, and more dialogue is needed.
But I think this can be, because at the same time we don't want to be breaching the Constitution. So what perhaps we should do is to have dialogue, move by way of dialogue.
Meanwhile, the Fiji Police Force have stated that they are on alert on the issue and they will look into it when it matters of any civil disobedience that the church says is an option. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
Medical officials that have received their posting to rural areas have been encouraged to visit their designated communities. They have also been advised to meet the people they will provide service to. Health Minister Dr. Firemi Wangai-Nambete says this is an area they're focusing on, adding that health officers must meet the chiefs or village headmen as well as the district advisory councillors. He says it's very important to meet with the grassroots people and heads of villages and communities to encourage communication. Dr. Wangai-Nambete says he is practicing what he's preaching by making the first move himself, setting good examples for our medical professionals.
Getting them to know who we are, what we are all about, and then letting them understand that we are there to serve them, not to be served. And I think that's one important aspect that we've been talking with the young doctors today, is realizing that we are there to serve in the communities. So we must understand it from day one that when we arrive on the island, when we arrive up in the highlands, that we are there to serve the community.
Still to come, WAF works on discoloured water complaints, and medical officials in rural areas told to visit their designated communities. Details after the break.
Bula, nevango malakai leloma, ngongai nakas ondu magrong ng Bula FM, nambandua na sere.
Hoya o basit sai sa Lambasa, ya ondu talita na warong ng Bula FM, nambandua na sere.
Guya do tumeli ako na tao no hinga toka, talita kina na warong ng Bula FM, nambandua na sere.
Wana tunga ng Bula FM, nambandua na sere nambuan.
Nevango fani na tao no go singa toka, kita ondu talita ka ng Bula FM, nambandua na sere.
Bula FM, number 2 na sere.
The Water Authority has received numerous complaints from Nausori residents about the discoloured water coming out of their taps. The authority says this is due to the major improvement work that was recently carried out from Waila to Raralevo. Kelly Vavala reports.
Some areas in Nausori will continue to receive discoloured water for the next few days as WEF tries to stabilise the new system.
Right now, the team conducting flushing works, which is to remove this dirty water in the system. They turn on the fire hydrants and our valves, the air valves, to bleed the air and also flush out the discoloured water. We started receiving this on Sunday, and that's when the pressure starts to build up in the system.
WEF General Manager Customer Services Ekove Ulinayao says the increased water pressure building up on the bulk line is causing high turbidity, affecting the water quality.
Yeah, I would like to advise the customers that are experiencing this to boil drinking water as a precautionary measure, and also to call the authorities so we can flush the pipeline in the area. We've managed to remove quite a significant percentage, and there's a few pockets still left. Our team is going around.
The authority says their lab teams have been mobilized in various parts of Nausori and are currently conducting tests on the water quality. Kelly Badala, FBC News.
Alleged murderer Rosalind Khan is requesting state to reduce her charge to manslaughter. 35-year-old Khan is alleged to have driven a car into the Rewa River on the 6th of May last year, causing the death of her 4-year-old daughter. Khan faces 1 count of murder and appeared in the Suva High Court today. The mother of 2 has engaged new legal representation through Law Solutions' Gavin O'Driscoll. O'Driscoll made an application to DPP to reduce the charge. Khan had earlier pleaded not guilty to the charge. The matter has been adjourned to February 21st. Timothy Vakau, who is charged with 1 count of murder, has been further remanded by the Suva High Court this morning. Vakau, who was a hotel security officer, is alleged to have murdered 52-year-old Ratu Emosi Seru Tangi Vakatini on Christmas Eve last year. The incident happened at a nightclub in Suva when the accused allegedly assaulted Ratu Emosi. First call matters were discussed and the case has been adjourned to the 18th of March. Pacific Towing Company has completed the removal of cargo from the sunken MV Southern Phoenix at the Suva Harbour. Maritime Safety Authority Chief Executive Captain Philip Hill says now they have progressed to the cutting up of the vessel. The next stage is to help the vessel refloat and taken to the scuttling position.
There is an approved position outside the harbour beyond the 1,000 meter contour depth. And that is where we have the area for them to dump. It's the parts of the ship that cannot be taken to the recycling or to the rubbish dump down at number 1.
Turning to world news, U.S. President Donald Trump has attacked Democrats for rejecting his latest proposal to end the month-long government shutdown. The president tweeted that they dismissed the offer even before he got up to speak. Coming up in sports later with Jamie, he will have the latest from the Australia Open, but Rachel joins you now with business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up after the break, Qantas announces flights to Fiji. And in growing Fiji, Tamavui Wire Bridge takes shape. Stay with us.
Lola, I am Eleanor. For the best classic hits, I only listen to Gold FM here in Singapore. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Seni Rawa. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nausori. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Dino.
I'm from Outrigger, Koroko, Singatoka. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Salote. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nausori. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, my name is Marida. Gold FM plays the best classics here in Outrigger, Singatoka.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Leading business tonight, Qantas will begin direct flights from Sydney to Fiji from March. Starting March 31st, Qantas Boeing 737 will dart between Sydney and Nadi, the country's main gateway, 4 times per week. QF 101 will depart Sydney at 10:30 a.m. every Tuesday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday to reach Nadi at 4:30 p.m. The QF 102 return leg will be wheels up from Nadi at 5:35 p.m. the same day for an 8 p.m. touchdown at Sydney. The Qantas International Chief Executive says Fiji continues to be an incredibly popular holiday destination for Australians, with a number of new luxurious properties having opened up on the island in the recent years. Qantas will continue to code-share on Fiji Airways' flight to Nadi. And we now join Sharon from HFC Bank with the latest from the money world.
Let's have a quick look at the South Pacific Stock Exchange market review for last week. 6 of the listed stocks recorded market activities, noting various price movements. Atlantic and Pacific Packaging Company shares recorded a 5 cents growth to end the week at $1.55. Vision Investment shares ended the week at $4.30, noting a 16 cents rise. And BSP convertible notes were up by 51 cents to trade at $13.01. Meanwhile, Freebet Institute shares dropped by 7 cents to a share price of $2.98. Following these price movements, the overall market capitalization increased by 0.60% and ended the week at $3.09 billion. And that's all the latest from our local stock market. Vinaka.
Thanks, Sharon. On to the exchange rates as it was set this morning. Our currency had a mixed day. The Fiji dollar gained against the Aussie, Kiwi, Euro and the Yen, slipping against the other currencies we cover. Taking a look at the commodities market, oil prices were up at $53.55 a barrel. Gold was down at $1,283 per ounce and silver closed at $15.35 an ounce. And in growing Fiji tonight, work on the Tamavua-Iwai Bridge in Lami is still in its early stages, says Fiji Roads Authority Chief Executive Jonathan Moore. Moore says a lot of people are thinking that they should be seeing a new bridge appearing, but it doesn't work that way. He says the Tamavua-Iwai Bridge is a design-build contract, so the first few months include the designing, contractual agreements and investigations. Moore says since it includes a lot of investigations, more physical work will be carried out on the bridge until April. The chief executive also explained the process that will be followed to build the bridge.
The existing bridge will be staying and being used until the new bridge we're building is finished.
Okay.
That's the end of this year. Then we take away the existing bridge, and in a few years' time, through a few arrangements we've got with JICA, we will put a new bridge in there, and that will mean the 4-lane bridge. Two 2-lane bridges will make the 4 lanes we need for that section of road.
And that's a wrap from the business desk for tonight. Jamie joins you now with all the very latest in sports.
Thanks, Rachel, and good evening in sports tonight. Fiji Sevens jet out for Hamilton title defense. And Lautoka football coach not happy despite big win. Details coming up.
Hi, I'm Jyotishma. I'm from Singatoka. I love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM is #1.
I'm Charlene Robert. Mirchi FM rocks in Lambasa.
I'm Soname Nausori Jackson. Mirchi FM is hot.
My name is Raymond Dutt. I'm in Baba Singh Alliance. Mirchi FM is hot in Lambasa.
I'm Pritika from Jax Nausori. I love listening to Mirchi FM here in Nausori. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
The Fiji Airways men's sevens side is en route to defend the Hamilton Sevens title in New Zealand. Currently sitting third on the World Series table behind the USA and New Zealand, the side could move to the top if they win this weekend. Prior to departure this morning, both coach and captain remained optimistic of their chances. Master Prasad reports.
There was no shortage of fans when the Fiji Sevens team departed for New Zealand this morning. Captain Kalione Nasoko promising they will deliver in the Hamilton Sevens.
We have been ready and preparing well with analysis from the coaches and management. Hope we'll do well in the games.
With the inclusion of two powerful forwards, Joshua Vakurunambili and Paula Dranisinikula, Nasoko says they now have more depth in the team.
They're very good players. I think the addition to the team will boost especially our forwards and firepower to the forwards to especially playing against a bigger team.
For coach Gareth Beiba, picking the best 13 was not easy as he had to look at many possibilities before naming the squad.
Yes, it's been tough. There's some unlucky players around, but that's a necessary part of what we do. If there weren't unlucky players around, then I'm only working with 12-13 players, and obviously we're not going to be at the levels that we need to be to go and potentially win international competitions.
Beiba and his brigade surely have the potential of defending the Hamilton Sevens title. All they need to do is to stay focused and play according to the game plan. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
New Zealand Sevens coach Clark Laidlaw is happy to have all his senior players available for the Hamilton Sevens this weekend. Laidlaw says it's the first time he'll have his full-strength team since winning the World Cup last year in San Francisco, USA. New Zealand is pooled with Spain, Canada and Japan.
To get most of those guys back fit, healthy and available for selection for home tournaments, really encouraging and exciting. It's probably as close to full strength as you can get. There's always one or two guys that miss out, but we're really excited around putting that squad on the field. There's a few guys who haven't played much rugby since the World Cup.
New Nausori rugby coach Dr. Ilaitea Tuisese believes he has a lot to offer in the 2019 season. His appointment follows the departure of former coach Koli Sewambu, who has taken up a full-time position with the Fiji Rugby Union. Tuisese has been Nausori's assistant coach for the last decade, working with Chochi Rinakama, Yosef Ombele, Samundo Moni and Koli Sewambu. While he accepts it will be a challenge, he is hopeful of leading Nausori to a triumphant new season.
I always aim to retain the cup this year and work towards getting the Skipper Cup back to the Union, and of course keep pushing players to our system and breed them and coach them to be much better than when they came into the Nausori setup.
The Fiji Football Association will be investigating a senior national coach on allegations of abuse during the Under-23 camp in Ba. Fiji FA Chief Executive Mohammed Yusuf has confirmed to FBC Sports that Ba Football Association lodged the complaint as some of its players were amongst those who raised these allegations. Yusuf says the alleged incident is said to have taken place when 9 Under-23 squad members tested positive for drugs last week. Fiji FA says it is now waiting for a report from the team officials who were present in camp. It is currently not clear whether a police report was filed on the matter. Fijian wonder boy Roy Krishna netted a historic double for the Wellington Phoenix to help his side to a 3-all away draw with Melbourne victory in the A-League last night. Krishna first scored through a penalty kick before netting the second in the 28th minute. The Lautoka football side believes it has to improve before going into its next Vodafone Premier League match against Suva at Churchill Park this weekend. Despite a 6-0 victory over Tavoa yesterday, Lautoka coach Kamal Swami isn't fully impressed. He says they will need to address some of their weaknesses now if they are to defend their title.
Looking at the first half, I think we were a little bit reluctant to go on attack and keeping possession. And that's what we talked about in the second half, and that players abided by, and then we started getting goals. So overall, I think we performed well, but we need to start performing from the first whistle.
Weightlifting Fiji continues to discover new talent as it prepares for future international meets. Two new clubs were part of the national trials over the weekend, and the association expects more to join in the coming weeks. Koroi Tandolala reports.
Fiji's weightlifting coach Henry Elder says the two new clubs set up in Serwa continue to produce more young lifters, most of who can be developed for international competitions.
So these two clubs here, they have gradually over time created, had a lot of interest amongst the villagers, and so that's obviously why we see a lot more people and the turnout today. And I know that over the next few weeks, interest will continue. And there will be a lot more in numbers who will turn up for the next trials.
Mokosoi's club coach Lavinia Andilutu is hoping to have one of her lifters make the cut for the Pacific Games.
Ronnie Talmingau. I've been training him for over months, not quite as a year. So he's coming through with a great result. He has such an amazing techniques. So I've been working on that, and I'm hoping that he could settle in any international upcoming.
The next weightlifting trials will be held at the end of next month at the Rambuka Gym in Suva. Kuroi Tandulala, FBC Sports.
Australian Open men's singles defending champion Roger Federer is out of the tournament after Greek 14th seed Stefanos Tsitsipas earned the biggest win of his career to reach the quarterfinals. The Swiss lost 6-7, 7-6, 7-5, 7-6 on a dramatic night in Melbourne. Ashley Barty won 9 games in a row to inspire a comeback against Maria Sharapova and book her place in the Australian Open quarterfinals. She defeated the former champion 4-6, 6-1, 6-4. In today's play of the day, on a smashing day of Australian Open tennis, Leonardo Maia and Joao Sousa weren't quite on the same page, the two making a hilarious blunder in the doubles competition. That's it from Sports Tonight. Kelly joins you later on with weather, and we're not going very far in the world of the wind in the wonderful segment today. Later on, check out the rather unusual pineapple that was grown in Lambasa. Details coming up.
मैं नवनीत नंद नंबुआ से जैसे प्रेनी नोट मशहूर है वैसे रेडियो फीजी 2 भी सभी जगह मशहूर है। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
सीमा नकाशी से मैं रेडियो फीजी 2 पसंद करती हूँ सुनने के लिए। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
मैं हूँ अंकल किंग सिंगाटोका टाउन के टैक्सी ड्राइवर। जैसे रग्बी फेमस है वैसे रेडियो फीजी 2 फेमस है।
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
The partial US government shutdown has delayed the release of some retail data, but analysts are confident it was a strong holiday shopping season. According to MasterCard, it was a particularly good year for department stores online. It's weather time now with Kelly.
Hello and welcome to the weather world. It's been a wet few days as a weak trough of low pressure with cloud and showers lie slow moving over Fiji. It is expected to affect the group till tomorrow. Taking a look in the west, quite humid, but also with rain being on and off. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, quite humid, but heavier falls can be expected later tonight and some thunderstorms as well. And up north, cloudy periods with evening showers and thunderstorms likely. At sea, easterly winds 10 to 15 knots, moderate seas, poor visibility in areas of heavy showers and thunderstorms. For the tides, low tide is at 1:04 a.m. with high tide at 7:19 a.m. Sunrise is at 5:46. For tomorrow, cloudy periods with some showers with isolated thunderstorms and heavy falls expected over Lau and Lomaiviji group and the eastern parts and interior of the other larger islands. Elsewhere, cloudy periods with afternoon or evening showers and thunderstorms with heavy falls. Tomorrow stems another hot day for most places. And looking further on to Wednesday, cloudy periods with brief showers even over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands, afternoon or evening showers and isolated thunderstorms with heavy falls possible elsewhere. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Kelly. In Fiji on Pulse tonight, we asked, do you think Gareth Faber has named the right mix of players for Hamilton Sevens?
I'm happy with Bebe's selection, and I hope they'll win in Hamilton this weekend.
This is a good team combination, and I hope they maintain their winning form for Cape Town and defend the Hamilton Trophy.
The coach has chosen good players. They have gelled in well, so it's a good mix.
I trust the coach has picked the best players to represent Fiji to the Hamilton Sevens.
I think whatever players have been chosen, they will make us proud. It's a good mix.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, we head to Lambasa, where a farmer has grown what is not only believed to be one of the biggest pineapples, but also a very unique one. The pineapple not only has one head or sucker, but about 100. Eleanor Tarangaiviu has more.
Deo Chand, or Baban as he is known to many, has only been a pineapple farmer for 3 years now. One particular pineapple caught his attention. It was different in shape and size.
This one I planted last year in April.
Baban used only water to feed the pineapple. It was picked last week, weighing almost 10 kilograms and measuring 30 centimeters wide with about 100 suckers.
I see this one like this one in November. I saw the old shoots was coming out.
The father of 3 sells his pineapples to the local hotels and market. Another pineapple similar to this large and unique one is still growing.
If you plant about 50-60 suckers, then out of that you can get about one suckers, you can get about this thing like this. But the head will be about 10 or 12 like this, but this time I've got it 100.
For now, this pineapple will be the centerpiece of the family's dinner table. Its fate now rests solely on the hands of its planter. Eleanor Turangaiviu, FBC News.
Recapping the main stories for tonight, rogue heads pose a big problem. Delkusha landslide affects thousands, and woman takes up case to Chief Justice. Now for these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question segment last week, we had asked, has daylight savings been effective? Over 62% said no. This week we're asking, should Prime Ministers of Australia and New Zealand visit Fiji more often? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day was taken by Rico at Nukambalavo in Vanuilevu, showing the great coconut trees under the clear skies. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was the FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, good night.
Bula, neva ngo malakai leloma, ngo ngai nakas ondo magrong ng Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere.
Hoya ubasit sai Lambasa, ya ondo talita na warong ng Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere.
Guya do tumeli, ako na tao no hinga toka, talita kina na warong ng Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere.
Wana tunga ng Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere nawaluan.
Neva ngo fane na tao no singa toka, kita ondo talita ka ng Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere.
Bula FM, nambang 2 na sere.